Welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Hope you're having a good night. Let's get straight to it.
We are not supposed to talk about the booms.
Evidently, there's a lot more booms going around than I first realized. I thought it was just here local to Rigby, Idaho, but it's not. Shortly after posting my video about the booms, I have a law enforcement friend. I'm not going to say if it's state level or county level, but he came over to my house and said, "Hey, Aaron, it'd be a good idea to pull the video you posted about the booms and not talk about it anymore." He didn't tell me if he knew what there were or what they were doing it for, but he says as an agency, they've been told to deny, deflect, and diffuse. So they don't want it to be talked about. Now, I'm not crazy into conspiracy theories, but my officer friend did tell me about a local amateur seismologist that contacted the news and gave him a story about he set up several different seismology detectors around the area and he was going to run a story on it. And shortly thereafter, before they could actually run the story, he had a heart attack and he's gone. So that got me thinking that there's something going on with these booms that we're not supposed to know about. So if I stop making videos, guys, you'll know why.
Bro, I've never heard of this, but the way he's describing it makes it seem very sketchy. A local amateur seismologist dies of a heart attack right before going on the news talking about the booms. The fuck? The only one I heard is the one in my toilet after Thanksgiving.
Unfortunately, they found two women that had washed down here, and they had already notified my son that we had passed away. We were listed as deceased. And then, like, Sunday afternoon, my son was like, he was watching the news, and he went, "There's Mom getting airlifted on a Chinook helicopter." You know, he saw it on television because they found one lady. She was leaving Craigtown up here with 11 people got killed, and she was trying to get out. And when that thing hit her, it snapped her neck, and then she went through the windshield. And coming down through, this is really bad, coming down through the current, it ended up cutting her. And they found her body over here, and they found another lady over here. And they could tell they were women, and they thought it was us. So they were not, pronounced us dead. I'm 74. My sister, Cynthia Dunn, she's 75. We had just put in this 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, a handicapped bathroom, handicapped shower, handicapped kitchen, the walls widened and everything. And then on September 28th, that morning, I came out and the water was like this deep. And I ran up there to move the car, and I came back and the water went up. When I went inside the house to tell my sister we need to go, the first log hit and just shattered the laundry room. And then I turned around and it was like a ginormous, like a 20-foot wave. Just, we got torpedoed by giant logs everywhere. And it just, split the house in all kinds of sections. I pushed my sister onto a mattress.
And so she grabbed the dog and we jumped on the mattress, and not knowing what was going to happen. We didn't know if another timber was going to hit us again and again. So that was really scary because most of the house was gone then.
We grabbed the little dog and we went like 4 miles down the river until we were half a mile from the waterfall, and we hit a giant a pile of rubble bigger than that, and the bed snapped in half, throwing me out. Then when I got up, I was trying to find my sister, and she was in this whirlpool of like this thick of like installation. It took me an hour to pull her up. I've like messed both my shoulders up, so I gotta have 2 shoulder replacement. We stayed there for 2 days and nights until they found us the following day.
So we had to stay, in the water 2 nights, and it was very frightful.
It took these men 45 minutes to cut through all this rubble to get to us.
I was exhausted.
It was so scary because when it got night, then I started thinking about water moccasins and, I started like thinking all kind of like, because it was so, that's the scariest I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
And it never stopped. It was crackling and snapping, glass breaking all night. That's all you heard. And then they put us to the church and helicoptered us out to Asheville. And we stayed in a homeless shelter there for like 2 weeks. And then we got moved to the Quality Inn in Black Mountain until these wonderful people here brought us 2 homes.
So right there, where that
that's what's left
that was your porch. That was the front porch where they're putting that camper now.
Yeah, I lost everything. All my family pictures, all my son's baby pictures, all my antiques, everything I had collected in my 74 years on Earth.
You said the home was pretty much torn into pieces?
Oh, it was shattered.
Where is it now?
Oh, it's like 4 miles down the river. It's way down there. It just looks like it was bombed.
Oh my God, how beautiful. This is amazing.
I didn't know they were like this. I had no idea.
I'm so happy for you.
Did you see how nice they are?
They're beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, another bedroom.
Really?
Oh, that's the same.
Oh my goodness.
For 2 months, people have promised to help us. I mean, they have promised everything. Nobody has helped us except you guys.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you for helping us.
I've had so much fun.
Praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus.
These two, you guys, I wish you could have been here to meet them in person. They are so much fun. We're going to be coming back and we're going to be blessing them with some more stuff because you know what? They were just telling me that people have been promising them the world and haven't showed up with anything. They said that we've been one of the only ones that has actually showed up in their situation. So we're gonna come back and bless them some more. But I just wanted y'all to see, man, this is what y'all are doing when y'all send us these campers. God bless you, and God bless these two. My gosh.
Thank you.
We had no home. We had nowhere to go.
Nowhere. And winter's setting in. So this is a blessing.
We only had like, what, 12 days left to find somewhere to live?
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
The Lord knew what he was doing. He sure
I've been
did.
on this land for 36 years. I'm just like, you know.
Yeah. Oh man, you guys go to anchorage.org. Help us keep doing this. These guys, I'm gonna go spend some more time with them. Y'all be blessed. Have a good night.
Thank you so much, Josh.
You
and
have
the
no
church
idea what
and
this
everybody.
means. Everyone.
Everybody that's helped.
Wow, what a story. I was not expecting to see or hear anything like that. For those 2 sisters to go what they went through and survive at the age they are, it's not only miraculous, it just shows you how strong a human being is. Shout outs to the real Josh Paul and anchorage.org.
Tonight, Joe Biden is pledging $1 billion in disaster recovery aid, but not for the people of Georgia, North Carolina, where temperatures now have dropped below zero in many areas. Many have inadequate housing. It has been 2 months now since Hurricane Helene devastated the area, and some Americans, our fellow Americans, they are living in tents with their children. But that $1 billion in federal aid, no, it's not going to rebuild homes in North Carolina. Instead, Joe is sending your hard-earned tax dollars to Africa.
The FBI is investigating these mysterious drone sightings in Morris County. Residents say they've been appearing more frequently in recent weeks, and tonight many people want to know exactly where they're coming from.
All right, everyone, welcome back. December 4th, 2024, we have to discuss what's going on in the skies of New Jersey. This insane UFO/drone phenomena taking place is absolutely incredible, and you are not going to believe what I found going on with the military at the exact same time going into New Jersey. I will break this all down for you because it is insane. All right, and to be clear, we've been having sightings all over the world over the last couple weeks. Multiple sightings over major airports. This one here in Manchester. This orb made it into the news very quickly when it was hovering over an airport. Many thought it was a drone. It has not been disproven yet, but a very weird video nonetheless. We also had this very strange video of what looks like 6, maybe 7 orbs all grouped together with a smaller orb up above them, almost like it's controlling it. We couldn't verify exactly what this was, but we could see airplanes crossing the threshold of this video. You'll see one very soon coming in from the left, and it's right about now. I want to say there it is. You can see it on the bottom left. There is an airplane coming into the airport while we're seeing these orbs in the sky above it. Very, very strange. All right, and now I want to talk about this video that came out in New Jersey 2 nights ago, and what I believe is happening here is a little bit of confusion. People are going nuts with their phones pointed to the sky because of this phenomena taking place, and a lot of people, I believe, are confusing UFOs with planes. This looks like a clear-cut airplane to me, but it seems to have made it onto all different media stations. But what's interesting is the second part of this video. They show these girls talking about this airplane right here, calling it a drone or some sort of UFO, which it's clearly not. But this part of the video is more interesting, and then I'm going to get into the military part of what I discovered here. Now, in this part of the video, you can see she's counting out the different drones in the sky. They're here, back in this area. She counts about 7 of these, I want to say. So this is much different than the airplane video she was showing us. This is what people are looking for. Now, with that said, you are not going to believe this. At the same exact time as these sightings last night, a massive escort military operation took place. 3 major military aircraft went out from New Jersey into the Atlantic Ocean. 45 minutes later, they return with a private jet that then peels off right after they get out of international waters and into New Jersey. This private jet peels off and goes right to Washington, D.C. Clearly, this jet was coming from another country across the Atlantic Ocean, and the military went out to pick it up. Now, because these craft came out of New Jersey to meet this private jet, whoever this was clearly a very important person or a very important craft. So my friends, as you can see, these airplanes, once this private jet peels off, this Boeing Globemaster and other military craft continue to circle a large portion of New Jersey for a few hours. Most of the videos you see from last night are within this time period. So what is going on out there? I personally do not believe these are aliens coming from outer space. I think that we have this technology right here on Earth and it's just hidden from us. These may be some secret military ops going on. They could be surveilling parts of New Jersey for some reason that we do not know yet, but something very strange is going on here, and it's involving the military 100%. Otherwise, this escorting operation would not have been taking place while there's massive amounts of drones and quote-unquote UFO sightings in the same exact areas of New Jersey. Now, the more interesting and fun theory is that the fact that maybe the military is going out to escort this important person because there's all these drones and weird things going on in Jersey. Maybe it's possible that this is out of the military's hands and they are trying to protect important assets as they enter the now busy skies of New Jersey. Alright, now finally, before we go check out this actual airplane they were escorting, don't forget we had a major sighting in New York City as well with this orb that shot across the Hudson River and was captured on news media camera during a weather forecast. This is also yet to be debunked. It is certainly not a drone. This thing covered way too much ground to be a drone. So it's not just New Jersey, it's a lot of the Northeast as a whole. Now check this out. Alright, so here are the 4 planes coming in after the 3 had already left to go pick up this private jet right here. Now, it does not have a call sign, but we do have an image, and you can see right here its registration was 06-0500 United States Military. It's a Gulfstream 5, a very common and expensive private jet, and this is what they came and picked up. Now you can see here this is a Globemaster, a Boeing C-17, and then we also have a Boeing 767 US military, as well as a second Boeing 767 US military. And as they approach the coast of the United States, you can see the plane finally peels off just after it crosses the international waters. And at this moment, things got weird. These are now showing up as drones, including over New Jersey right now. So these were switching back and forth from a drone signature with no call signs to then being registered once you click on it, back to the Boeing, and then back to the Globemaster, as you can see here, already with the Gulfstream having peeled off, heading all the way to Washington, D.C., which right there should tell you that this was a very important piece of cargo or something on the plane, a person on this plane, whatever it was. They were escorted by the U.S. military while the entire state of New Jersey is freaking out over drones, UFOs, and things that look like airplanes. Alright, my friends, I know that was a long one, but a super important video. I hope you all share, and please comment below. Tell me what you think is going on here. Some of you that are more familiar with the military aspect of the flight radar stuff, maybe you can give me an idea of what I'm looking at here, because this is a super strange situation to be taking place with all this crazy stuff happening in the skies. Alright, my friends, I appreciate you all. Until the next one, I'll talk to you all very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wow, that was a lot. Shout outs to Into Thin Air. Bro, what an observation right there. And that was a great question, how the signatures kept jumping back and forth. I think what makes it eerie is that we heard all this talk about December 3rd, and now we're seeing this a day later after that. It's just very interesting. Shout outs to New Jersey and New York. Yeah, that one going over the Hudson, that was caught on live air. Now that's crazy.
Are the booms coming from underground?
We made it to the end of the road, but we got to go clear up there. And that's why we brought the quads. Well, we're pretty close to the pin, and we're as far as the road goes. The pin is actually a half a mile that way into the mountain and up. But it's kind of funny. If you pan this way, I'll show you. You can see it now. There's a welded door going into the mountain. We don't know what's in there, but straight that way is where the booms are coming from. I originally thought this door was welded shut, but upon closer inspection, it's somehow locked on the inside. But there's lots of traffic coming up through here, and there's noise. You can hear something.
It sounds like something's driving, like a four-wheeler or
a motor.
There's an engine running in there. You can hear it.
That's crazy. I'm kind of nervous. I think I'm gonna get out of here. To get here, we had to drive about 20 miles on a dirt road after we left the main highway. It was a long ways out there, and once we'd been out there, kind of checked it out, on the way back, we got to the truck, and we noticed a bunch of quads zipping down the trail we just came from. And we got out of there pretty quick. We didn't want anything to do with them. Not sure who they were. It was kind of made me nervous.
Shout outs to Aaron's Bit of Everything. Make sure you go follow. This guy just became one of my favorites in like 5 minutes. Like, whoa, what's behind that door? Wait, back up. Why is there a door in the mountain? Has anyone seen this door or know what this man is talking about? This is crazy. Let me know in the comments down below.
I think it's so interesting that this is how we're warning humans in 10,000 years that they're gonna die. Like, not from the spikes themselves, but rather the ground they're sticking out from. Some call it the science of bad vibes, and you're gonna want to steer clear when you find out why it's also sitting on deadly radiation from nuclear waste, which we produce as a result of generating nuclear energy that we dispose of by burying it around the world. And no, the smoke you see rising out of nuclear power plants isn't waste. As a matter of fact, that's literally just steam, like water vapor, which is actually the reactor's main source of energy. Yes, nuclear reactors are basically just glorified steam engines, using the heat from the nuclear fission process to boil water, and the resulting steam spins their turbines. And here I thought nuclear power plants somehow harness the power of glowing green uranium directly. So, real nuclear waste comes in the form of the spent uranium, plutonium, or other radioactive element that was used to generate the heat. This waste produces radiation, microscopic particles that shoot out from it that can pass through our skin and damage our organs. Radiation sickness. In order to avoid that, we need to dispose of it properly. And they don't just dig a hole into the ground, dump it in, and call it a day. No, it's quite a process. Specialized nuclear waste disposal facilities like these transport the hazardous waste down a 400-meter elevator underground inside these corrosion-resistant copper canisters. Once they reach the bottom, automated robots transfer them to temporary storage, while another drilling robot machine starts drilling holes into the bedrock that will serve as the waste's final burial chamber. They fill the holes with bentonite clay, which prevents the waste from leaking into the water supply. Then another self-driving machine transports the waste from storage and dumps the canisters into these holes, which they fill with more bentonite clay on top, and another machine fills the entire tunnel with concrete, sealing it off for good. They dismantle the entire facility on the surface, and the waste will continue to decay underground for centuries. Too deep to affect us directly, but the area around and above the waste may be unsuitable for long-term human occupation or growing crops for the years to come. Like a lot of years. Materials like plutonium waste have a half-life of about 24,000 years, so the area might be a little sketchy for quite a while. A really, really long time. So long, in fact, that it'll outlive all languages that exist today. The way we speak evolves, like constantly. For example, here's how English sounded 1,000 years ago. You catch any of that? Words, accents, and dialects change so much over time that we can't even understand the same language I'm speaking to you right now just 1,000 years ago. Within a couple thousand years, all languages today would have evolved into completely unrecognizable gibberish, while that radioactive waste still remains deadly. So how do we warn humans in the future that certain areas contain harmful nuclear waste that might them if we don't even know what language they'll be speaking and reading? We can't just put up a warning sign in any existing language today, as it may very well be unreadable to civilizations 10,000 years from now. Sure, we know how to read ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs today, only because we kind of got lucky and found the Rosetta Stone. Future generations might not get so lucky, and there are plenty of ancient languages today that we haven't deciphered and likely never will. This is the issue of nuclear semiotics. How do we communicate the dangers of nuclear waste into the future? One method is to use pictures instead of words, like the toxic waste symbol or a skull with crossbones. Problem is, the meaning of pics changes over time as well. Toxic waste might be their medical symbol, and a skull might mean bone health or something. But even if a crossbone skull still does mean danger, it doesn't exactly explain the kind of danger that's being warned. Linguists did come up with more intricate warning sign comics like these, which tells the story a little better, but is now a little complicated and open to interpretation. Here we see a little stick man that digs a hole into the ground, goes a little too deep, and releases these symbols into the air that reach him, and then he goes to sleep. There are hundreds of ancient carvings that we still don't fully understand to this day, so I'm not sure if future humans will know what we meant by this. The other idea was this: hostile architecture featuring terrifying fields of scary spikes, which we assume would naturally scare people away, as we believe it goes beyond conventional symbolism and is something that our DNA will forever find instinctively repulsive. But again, that's just an assumption. It could very well end up piquing interest and cause people to want to explore it more, completely backfiring on its intended purpose. I don't know, what's the first thing you'd do if you see this? There's also the rubble landscape, filling an area up with ugly, uneven concrete and other gravel to discourage people from living and farming on it. And the forbidding blocks, irregularly shaped stone and concrete blocks the size of houses that create creepy whistling sounds as the wind blows through them. Anything to make the area feel as unpleasant as possible, but I feel like any moderately curious human would be fascinated by these and just want to check them out further. Now, these are all just ideas that linguists and other professionals pitched to science boards on this issue. We're clearly in no rush, but we still kinda gotta figure it out at some point. But by far, the craziest and possibly most effective idea suggested for this issue is that we form an atomic priesthood, a council of about 100 members who preserve and pass down the knowledge of nuclear waste sites and their dangers throughout the generations. Linguists determined the best way to pass down information into societies 10,000 plus years into the future is through stories that would likely eventually become mythology, which could potentially end up turning into a mystic religion within a couple hundred years. And then people wouldn't even believe what this priesthood has to say anyway, as their stories would be generally regarded as myths and superstitions. Just imagine the crazy cult telling us not to grow crops on a certain piece of land or we'll be cursed actually be telling us the truth and none of us even listen.
The atomic priesthood sounds crazy. I can go with the spikes and the big blocks. Shout out to Phil Spixel. That's crazy. 1,300 feet underground these things are buried. My only question is, if one of them rovers underground glitch out, who's going down there to fix them?
Don't you just love it when the Bible decides to take people out? Like, even if they are entities that came before the Bible, the Hebrew, the Sumerians recognize them as entities, actually as goddesses, thanks to Julius Caesar and the Emperor Constantine that gathered all of the belief systems and mixed them all into one. All of a sudden, ancient stories that were once real now don't exist anymore. Meet Lilith, the first wife of Adam. We've always been taught that Eve was the wife of Adam. Oh boy, no. But surprise, she wasn't even the first one. She was technically the first one that accepted his proposal of marriage. Meet the Demi. These are goddesses. Demi, goddess. Demiurge, god. Ancient gods and goddesses. These were the three women created in the Garden of Eden as potential mates, companions to Adam. Their names are Nama, or Nama, Esheth, and Agrat Bat Malat. And when they were presented to Adam and he proposed to them individually, they all rejected him. They didn't like him. Next thing you know, these beautiful women were transformed from ancient goddesses into demons, succubus, vampires, whatever. In the Zohar, we find that Archangel Uriel was the one to escort these three women out of Eden. They were not allowed to be there because they rejected Adam. They ultimately ended up living on the Red Sea in caves. So how did Lilith become a demoness? From first wife of Adam to demoness vampire succubi? What happened here? Like something happened, right? The only thing this ancient goddess did was reject Adam's dominance, stating they were created by the same clay and therefore they were equals. Story goes that one day Lilith was sunbathing, laying in the tall grass. Adam had just returned from doing his duties and chores that the Lord had given him. Now remember, Eden was an enclosed area. From the descriptions, it seems like it's some kind of scientific zoo, where humans and animals alike were studied like for animal husbandry, like one would do with animals and cattle. So the chief deity, the Lord, had taught Adam how to procreate, and he gave him specific instructions. In the Garden of Eden, it was also not allowed to procreate without authority. Adam was taught that he was supposed to lay on top of the woman. Long story short, he gets to Lilith, sees her on the ground, and says, "Woman, stay down, stay there. I am now going to lie upon you." And Lilith is taken back, and she's like, "What?" She was already on the ground, and she's like, if he had come and just laid upon me, there wouldn't be this problem. But because he said it in that dominant way, she specified to him, "We are made from the same clay. We are equals." Adam started to freak out. He didn't know what to do. So he goes running back to his father God and says, "I don't know what to do. This woman won't obey me. She's not submissive." And in the meantime that he was doing that, Lilith, that was very annoyed by his behavior, said, "You know what? I'm tired of being here always alone." Then he comes, acts like a girl, and then runs off. She starts to wander around the wall and notices one of the guards at the gates. His name was Samael. He was an archangel. Samael, known for his promiscuity, did not refuse the advances of Lilith. And they started what would be known as one of the greatest love stories of all time. In the meantime, Adam is being directed by his Lord on how to act, and he told him to go back and insist some more. So Adam goes back to find Lilith, tries to force her into submission. This is when she rages out and utters the secret name of the female goddess. It is at this point that it said that from her back sprout 2 huge black wings. She embraces her new wings and takes off into the air. She flies up, up, up. At a certain point, she looks down and can see the entire structure of Eden and realize that they were confined by these walls and that the world is so much bigger. She looks down at Adam and says, "Who's on the bottom now?" and flies away and ends up also in the Red Sea like her half-sisters.
Wow, what a story. That's crazy. It's like The Bachelor. At the same time, it was giving me them Ice Wall vibes. Very interesting.
He was here in this corner the whole night. Yeah.
Who was on the corner?
The guy who shot the guy.
The driver told me he was hanging around whole night waiting for the guy, the shooter. And he just inside the car waiting for him. Soon he see him, he just shot him. That's all I know.
Explaining the booms.
It's come to my attention that the videos I made about the mysterious boom sounds may have caused some unexpected concerns and consequences. I'm making this video to set the record straight, clear up any rumors and misinformation. I was recently contacted by some well-educated scientists who explained the whole boom phenomenon. First, the booms that we are hearing and feeling are not new. In fact, they've been happening for hundreds of years, and they are just part of nature. In fact, there are several natural causes that produce the boom sound. A few of these natural and normal causes are as follows. 1. Skyquakes, which is basically lightning without a flash. As the atmosphere rubs together, it creates molecular tension, which builds up and gets released as a soundburst, or a boom. And 2. Normal lightning. Just because you didn't see the flash, didn't mean it didn't happen. Plus, sound travels slower than light, so you wouldn't see anything by the time you heard it. 3. Small seismic activity. In other words, small earthquakes. Now, the reason these booms seem like they're happening more frequently is because of social media, exaggerating the natural phenomenon. Another reason people actually hear more today than they did before is because society as a whole has become much quieter. 30 years ago, there were no sound restrictions on airplanes or cars. So we're hearing better today, thanks to the government.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. And if you haven't already, please take a second
just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell,
just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So what we're gonna do, y'all? That's right. Run these numbers up. Thanks again. Till next time.